best gaming monitor, digging deep into the latest flavors of AMD processor and NVIDIA graphics silicon. And we know which notebooks sing and which are just tone deaf. We're not just talking about sleek, expensive new machines either. We've picked a range of best gaming monitor at different price points to highlight which give you the best bang for buck and which are just outright awesome. To help you find the right model, we've listed the best gaming monitor and their key features, plus the things you need to consider to help you choose the best one for you. And as always, you can check pricing for any of these products in the description below. Like the video, comment, and don't forget to subscribe. Now, let's get started. Number 5. Alienware G7 Gaming Monitor A2723DF. The Dell Alienware A2723DF is a 27-inch, 1440p gaming monitor. Part of Dell's Alienware gaming lineup, it replaces the Dell Alienware A2721D, but with a few differences. It now has an overclockable refresh rate that can go up to 280 Hz, but instead of having native G8 support like on the A2721D, it has native FreeSync VR support with G8 compatibility to reduce screen tearing. It has a few extra features to improve your gaming experience, like the ability to add a virtual crosshair that your system won't detect, giving you a competitive advantage. It also has a console mode that downscales a 4K image if you want to use it for console gaming. The Dell A2723DF is decent for PC gaming. It has a fast 240 Hz native refresh rate that you can overclock to 280 Hz, and it has both FreeSync VR and G8 compatibility to reduce screen tearing. It has low input lag for a responsive feel, and motion looks decent as it has a fast response time across its entire refresh rate range, but there's still some motion blur. Sadly, it's bad for darkroom gaming because it has a low native contrast ratio that makes blacks look gray, and it has a terrible local dimming feature in HDR. We tested the 27-inch Dell A2723DF, which is the only size available for this monitor, and the results are only valid for this monitor. It's part of Dell's Alienware gaming lineup, and it replaces the Dell Alienware A2721D. This monitor is also a higher-end version than the Dell Alienware A2724DM, which has a 180 Hz refresh rate. You can see the differences between the monitors below. The Dell A2723DF is a decent 1440 gaming monitor thanks to its overclockable 280 Hz refresh rate and consistently fast motion handling across its entire refresh rate range. It's a nice upgrade from the Dell Alienware A2721D, and if you want a 1440, 240 Hz monitor, you can't go wrong with it. That said, it has limited picture quality, but you'll need to pay more for better picture quality with a 1440, 240 Hz monitor, like the LG 27GR95QEB, which has an OLED panel. Number 4. Dell's 2522HG. It feels like yesterday that the first 144 Hz gaming monitors took the world of PC gaming into a new era of high refresh rates. That quickly became the norm, forcing monitor makers to push the limits to 240 Hz, then 360 Hz. They were successful, but high refresh rates came with high pricing. The Dell's 2522HG changes the game. This 24.5-inch 1080p gaming monitor has a 240 Hz refresh rate, yet it's commonly sold for $249.99. That's just tens of dollars more than an average 1080 144 Hz gaming monitor. The S2522HG cuts a few corners in its pursuit of pricing, but it's a great choice for competitive gamers on a budget. The Dell's 2522HG, like the company's other entry-level gaming monitors, boasts a simple yet confident style. The matte black chassis has thin bezels and can, at first glance, be mistaken for an office monitor. Take a closer look, though, and you'll appreciate the monitor's rear vents, which remind me of the window louvers on an old muscle car, and the angular, stealthy stand. There's no RGB LED lights to add flair, but that's typical for a budget gaming display. Build quality is above average, too. The monitor feels sturdy when handled and the matte plastics don't show excessive flex. The monitor's stand is a highlight. It keeps the monitor planted and has a wide variety of ergonomic adjustments, including height, tilt, swivel, and pivot. It's very nearly the same stand as Dell's more expensive office displays, though its range of height adjustment is slightly more limited, 130 mm instead of 150 mm. A cutout is included for cable management. It's an excellent stand for a budget display. If you want to replace the stand, the monitor has a standard 100 mm BDSA mount. This is compatible with the vast majority of monitor arms and stands. This monitor's connectivity once again exceeds expectations for a budget gaming display. It has two HDMI 2.0 ports and one DisplayPort 1.2 ports, which is typical for a 1080p gaming monitor. It has a total of 4 USB Type-A 3.2 Gen 1 ports with 5 GBs of bandwidth. That's excellent for a gaming monitor at any price point, never mind $249.99, and it turns the monitor into a useful USB hub. You can plug in a wired keyboard, mouse, and webcam, and still have a port left over for a hard drive. Number 3. Acer Predator XB323U. The Acer Predator XB323U is a fantastic high-end gaming monitor for those seeking a fast refresh rate and large screen size while sticking to a 1440p resolution. You don't have to mess around with scaling games up to a 4K resolution, and it delivers excellent image quality with a decently fast response time. Its excellence comes at a high price, though with its 270Hz refresh rate and massive 32-panel, the Acer Predator XB323U is potentially ideal for those seeking a gaming monitor with blistering performance without compromising on screen size. You can get similar specs on 27-inch panels for a lot less, but the extra screen size bumps up the price of this gaming monitor. Why you can trust our advice at PC Games? Our experts spend hours testing hardware and reviewing games and VPNs. We share honest, unbiased opinions to help you buy the best. Find out how we test. The raw performance and image quality on offer here means this Acer display is easily one of the best gaming monitors for its 32-inch size. But it's not without some issues, so read on to find out just where this display dazzles and disappoints. Once extricated from its enormous box, the XB323U strikes a stylish figure, with its very slim bezels and large but slim V-shaped foot. The stand, which is in large part made from solid metal with a metallic gray paint finish, offers height, rotation, and tilt adjustment, but the panel can't be pivoted into portrait orientation. For features, the Acer includes a typical input selection of one DisplayPort connector and 2 HDMI ports. Plus, there's a 4-port USB 3 hub with 2 ports on the rear and 2 on the left edge. A headphone jack and some weak-sounding speakers are also present. There's no USB Type-C input for connecting laptops and tablets, though. Meanwhile, a mini D-pad and 4 buttons sit on the right rear of the panel. The top button is for power, while the other 3 interact with the on-screen menus, as does the mini D-pad. The menu system is speedy, and the control system is also largely intuitive. The Acer XB3232U resolution of 2560x1440 is relatively low on a large 32 panel, making for a pixel density of 92p. As a result, it doesn't produce a very sharp image when you're sat up close. However, this isn't an issue for competitive gaming, and it's a level of sharpness on par with 24 in 1080 displays. Otherwise, the XB3232U image quality is decent. Its measured contrast ratio of 1051:1 is typical for an IPS panel, while its default color temperature of 6705 K is reasonably close to the desired level of 6500 K. With a massive 170% coverage of this RGB color space, 120% DCI-P3, this monitor also has very vivid colors with good delta E color accuracy, 0.28 average. Number 2. Samsung Odyssey G7. The Samsung Odyssey G7 C32G75 is a 240Hz, 1440p gaming monitor. It's part of Samsung's 2020 Odyssey gaming lineup, and it's one of few monitors available in 2 sizes, 27 and 32 inches, which we tested. It has a 240Hz refresh rate with native FreeSync VRR support to reduce screen tearing. It's also G-Slice compatible if you want to use it with an NVIDIA graphics card. It has a 1000R curve that helps bring the edges of the screen within your field of vision, and it has a VA panel with edge-lit local dimming. But unlike some of Samsung's models that came out after this one, like the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 32B G75, it doesn't have mini LED backlighting. We tested the 32-inch Samsung Odyssey G7, and the results are also valid for the 27-inch model, known as the Samsung Odyssey G7 27. It's part of the 2020 Odyssey lineup. There's a newer Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 32B G75 in Samsung's 2022 lineup, but it's a different monitor with a higher resolution. The Samsung Odyssey G7 is a good PC gaming monitor that combines a high 240Hz refresh rate with a 1440 resolution. It also has good dark room performance, but its picture quality isn't as good as newer Samsung monitors like the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75. Also, there are many bugs with it, and monitors like the Gigabyte M27QX and the Dell Alienware AVA 2723DF offer nearly the same gaming performance for a cheaper cost. So, unless you really want a monitor with a V8 panel, there are better options. Also, make sure to check out our recommendations for the best curved gaming monitors, the best 240Hz monitors, and the best 1440 monitors. The Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75 is a newer version of the Samsung Odyssey G7 C32 G75T, and both monitors are very different. The S32B G75 has a 4K screen with HDMI 2.1 bandwidth, allowing you to play high frame rate games in 4K, which the C32 G75T can't do. The S32B G75 also has mini LED backlighting with a much better local dimming feature than the C32 G75T. If you want a high-end 4K monitor, the S32B G75 is the better choice, but the C32 G75T is better if your graphics card can't take full advantage of the 4K resolution. Number 1. Samsung Odyssey Neo G8. The Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 S32B G85 is a 4K, 240Hz gaming monitor with mini LED backlighting. It features a 32-inch screen and 1000R curve, and is a higher-end model than the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 S32B G75, which is a similar mini LED monitor with a 165Hz refresh rate. It comes with a bunch of gaming features like FreeSync VRR support and HDMI 2.1 bandwidth to play 4K games at high refresh rates from a compatible PC or gaming console. It also uses a quantum dot panel to help it display a wider range of colors compared to traditional monitors. The Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 is great for PC gaming. It has a high 240Hz refresh rate, and it has VRR support to reduce screen tearing. It has low input lag for a responsive feel with most settings, and motion looks sharp thanks to its quick response time. But it still has some inverse ghosting at lower refresh rates. Sadly, there's noticeable VRR flicker with changing frame rates, which is distracting in dark scenes if your PC can't maintain stable frame rates. On the plus side, it delivers great picture quality thanks to its accurate colors, high peak brightness, and decent mini LED local dimming feature. We tested the 32-inch Samsung Odyssey Neo G8, which is the only size available, and the results are only valid for this model. That said, other monitors from the Odyssey gaming lineup share the G8 name and perform differently, and this monitor sits above the Samsung Odyssey Neo G7 32B G75. You can see the differences between the monitors below. The Samsung Odyssey Neo G8 S32B G85 is a great gaming monitor with a bunch of features, and the 4K resolution and 240Hz refresh rate make it an excellent choice for high-end PC gaming setups. It has better local dimming than most monitors, delivering a satisfying HDR experience. However, it has some issues, like its noticeable VRR flicker. So if you're willing to sacrifice picture quality for a worry-free gaming experience, you can find a cheaper display like the Gigabyte M32U. You can also consider the Dell Alienware AVA 3225QF if you want a premium 4K, 240Hz monitor with better picture quality and improved motion handling.